Good day everyone. We are here to present our business research proposal, which is COVID-19 pandemic, its effect to the business practices of the small and medium enterprises in Vigan City, Ilocos. The authors are secondary students from Bachelor of Science in Business Administration in University of Northern Philippines. Good day everyone. We are here.
May we start with the introduction of our research entitled COVID-19 Pandemic, its effect to the business practices of the small and medium enterprises or SMEs in Vigan City, Ilocos. The global outbreak of coronavirus disease or COVID-19 has had serious consequences around the world affecting the economy and society, leading to changes on how businesses act and consumers behave. Lot of small businesses decided to close, especially those in the industries of accommodations, food and service, and educational services that are affected by customer behavior such as social distancing and mandated operational restrictions that began during the pandemic. Small businesses are the most common form of business enterprise found throughout the world, and the pandemic created immediate and significant changes on how these enterprises do business. Small business around the world have been abruptly confronted with. The potential fallout from the pandemic goes deeper the longer it plays out, meaning the longer the economic impact from COVID-19 continues, the more risk these sectors face.
This research aims to know the effect of the pandemic to the small and medium enterprises in Vigan City. It determines why some of the businesses choose to shut down and to those who continue. For the researchers, we'll know what are the tactics they have in achieving the success of their businesses, and after that, which will have the key for the other small businesses outside Vigan City to pursue the things that will give strength to their businesses.
The reasons to conduct this study. This study seeks to find out the effects of COVID-19 on the small and medium enterprises in its business practices in Vigan City, Ilocos. Six factors that affect small and medium enterprises in Vigan City, Ilocos during the COVID-19 pandemic, especially its marketing aspect, production aspect, financial aspect, and human resources aspect.
For the continuation, advantages and disadvantages of COVID-19 to small and medium enterprises. Gather information about the concerns have about business as they proceed through reopening and continuing operations during the COVID-19 pandemic. Know how will they adapt to business operations in response to COVID-19 and its associated impacts. Things have gradually changed since the COVID-19 pandemic. People are not allowed to leave the house too often, and many small companies have closed. It has an impact on everything, especially work and small and medium-sized businesses. We conducted this research to learn more about how small and medium businesses in Vigan City, Ilocos survived, reacted, and managed their businesses during the COVID-19 outbreak. We also want to learn about their struggles during the epidemic and how they solved the death with all of the challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank you. In our objectives, the followings. Our main goal is to know the impact amidst pandemic, specifically the owners, how they cope up and handle the challenges, especially of closing their businesses. Secondly, the employees. What are their strategies when they lost their jobs and how they combat the amidst pandemic? Thirdly, the business. How's the business look like before and after the pandemic? Did the business has changes? And what are those strategies they use to fight the unbreakable pandemic? And lastly, the customers. We will significantly ask them about their opinion of the impact of COVID-19 in their chosen favorite stores.
To determine the factors of a strategy in sustaining small and medium enterprises through the disruptions are the following. First, to determine their marketing, their innovation, their resources, their price, and last, especially their product.
For the research design, this research will use phenomenology approach to study the experiences of small and medium enterprises owners in Vigan City, Ilocos Sur that were affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. We, the researchers, will use a descriptive research design, survey questionnaires, and an interview to gather more data. For the data gathering method, the researchers will make an interview questionnaires to be answered by the business owners that will serve as the data gathering instrument. After the respondents answer the questions, the researchers will proceed to analyzing, comparing, and organizing these answers, and will use a software for this. Then the results will come up a conclusion or hypothesis that will answer the main problem of this study. Thank you.
Data gathering instrument. The researcher will choose to use semi-structured interview. According to George 2022, it is a data collection method that relies on asking questions within a predetermined thematic framework. However, the questions are not set in order or in phrasing. In research, semi-structured interviews are often qualitative in nature. The researcher has prepared an interview guide that contains 10 open-minded questions that is expected to be answered in accurate and well-mannered by the participants. Sampling plan. The sample size for the phenomenological studies is recommended to 5 to 10 individuals. This indicates sample size is helpful to note the required number of participants depend on reaching saturation of quotation coding process or information emerged from further interviews. Participant selection was by purposeful sampling, which helped to identify a total of 10 participants. Trustworthiness of the research was attained by individual participants willing to describe their experience of the phenomenon.
For the interview guide, we prepared 10 questions for them to answer, which are: what is your marketing strategy to increase your sales during the pandemic? What are the challenges in operating your business during the pandemic? How was your sale before and after the pandemic? Have your business operations changed? If yes, give some example. What are you concerned about the possibility that your customers' habits are shifting more towards e-commerce? How do you plan to retain your customers' patronage of your product or services? What are the advantages and disadvantages of COVID-19 to your business? Give at least 2. What concerns do you have about your business as you proceed through continuing operations during the pandemic? How will you adopt your business operations in response to COVID-19 and its associated impacts? And lastly, what are the impact of COVID-19 to you as a business owner and as an individual? So that's where our presentation ends, and here is our documentary in processing our business research proposal. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, you may contact us here.